YouTube, it's Rico, man. I'm back with another video, man. Y'all see what we got going on. We got the Albanian blood code is what makes them extremely dangerous by John Alite. Now, this is a part of an interview he did, like, I think a couple years ago or so, something like that, like a year ago. And pretty much, I did a reaction already to one of the crazy stories he told about an Albanian man and his wife having an ordeal, pretty much have to have paid the mafia some type of amount of money and stuff, but the man wasn't giving it up that easily, and even was willing to let his wife die before he would ever give them what they want and stuff. So it just goes to show you how crazy Albanians really are and stuff, and they are those type of people where they would rather go out with dignity. They don't want to go out as a coward, etc., stuff like that, man. And plus, too, it's a lot of history y'all know from the UK about the Albanians and the mafia and all that stuff going on. But I did find out John Alite is pretty much from New York and stuff, and he was a part of the big scene when the mafia was really big in New York and stuff back around the earlier times of New York and shit like that. I can't remember the exact decades, years, etc., right now because it's morning. I ain't really got my whole mental all the way there on that information like that. But pretty much I know he's from New York and stuff, and he worked around John Gotti. I think he was John Gotti Jr., etc., stuff like that. Or probably around both John Gottis. But other than that, like I said, I can't remember everything for sure. But anyways, like I was saying, though, a lot of people been requesting that I still react to more of these types of videos from them and stuff like that. So here we are, man. So that said, man, brand new to the channel or you've been watching videos on the channel but not yet subscribed, please hit that subscribe button now. Also, don't forget to tell your family and friends about the channel as well, and hopefully they become supporters of the channel. And also, don't forget to turn on post notifications so you guys can get notified when I drop new videos, and be sure you don't miss out on new videos. Check out the channel every day, no matter the time of the day, just because you never know when I'm dropping. You don't want to miss out, and because sometimes post notifications do not work at all whatsoever. And also, don't forget to add and follow me on social media. All my social media platforms are listed down below in the description box as well as in the intro of the video, so you shouldn't have a hard time at all finding me on social media. With that said, though, man, we're gonna go ahead and start the screen record. That started and starting the vid. No.
I have this pretty accurate, in my opinion, theory that it was actually the Albanian nation that brought the vendetta, the blood feud, to the Sicilians. From my understanding, Shakespeare even wrote about this.
Yeah, it was in the 1400s, yeah.
Okay.
I'm familiar with the history.
So I know you do, but I want them to understand kind of where we're at. So the Albanians, even to this day, even though technically, you know, countries have formed governments and laws, the unwritten rule, which was written, because it's a written book, they can go buy it in the Bronx, is the code of dukagini, also known as the kanun. In English, if we translate that, the blood code. This is actually the law that Albanians for over, I don't know, almost 1,000 years now, right?
So that means they pretty much had this same code for years, and pretty much most Albanians is pretty much living by that code to this very day. And that just goes to show you they really about their history, they're about their lifestyle, they about all of that pretty much at the end of the day. So that's what also makes them very dangerous people to deal with if they your enemies and stuff like that. And of course too, because of the stuff they a part of, and either way you already know all of that, so I ain't gonna explain all that. But yeah, man, so it looked like they pretty much got rules and stuff like that, and they live by them to this day, and they do whatever they can to make sure they uphold those rules and laws, etc., however you want to say it. And that's just the way it is, and you can't be mad at them for that, because this is part of their history for, like he said, pretty much 1,000+ years. So hey, like, why change it if they feel like that's the best way to live for them and stuff, and to pretty much make them respectable as far as pretty much wanting to have their dignity and respect and not be played with and just bullied, etc., stuff like that. Like, they don't care who you are, as long as they know their history and the laws that they live by. That's how they gonna live their life, period. So you can't really get mad at them for that. Like I said, this stuff been a part of their history for 1,000+ years. So hey, it is what it is at that point. But with that said, let's continue on.
1200s, I think it first came out, or 1300s. I'm not sure. Actually, I have it here. Came out in the 15th centuries, like when it was actually like written, but it was unwritten for centuries before that.
Right.
So you're talking about for 600-700 years, our people operated by this code, the kanun. And basically, in a nutshell, if someone kills a member of, even just a regular Albanian family, if they're regular, doesn't mean that they're mafia, doesn't mean they're a gangster, doesn't mean they're a criminal. What people don't understand why Albanians became known as a violent people is that if you killed someone in their family, the way it was inbred into their hearts, we're a people of revenge. We live for revenge. We wait for revenge.
See, it don't matter. You ain't even gotta be a part of the street life in general. Like, I would say, like, even in people's families outside of the Albanian families and stuff, like, even now, you see a lot of that going on. It don't matter if you was a part of the street life or not. If you was a member of somebody that's highly respected in the streets or got a lot of street ties and stuff like that, if something were to happen to you, just know it's definitely gonna be revenge because of the people that you pretty much got connections to, as far as being either family or a friend, etc., stuff like that. So it's gonna be people that's gonna want to do something in revenge to what happened to you and stuff. So people would know next time you touch one of their people, it's gonna be the same result, or it's gonna be the same type of actions happening. It ain't gonna go unnoticed. It ain't gonna go as it is what it is. That happened. We gonna let the law handle it. Like, nah, some of these people really wanna take that into their own hands because they feel like that's the ultimate disrespect. You do something to one of their people, now they gotta do something to you. Whether you murdered that person or not, etc., they just gonna make sure they get their revenge on you, period. And those are the dangerous people, because those people, obviously, they got morals, they got a certain lifestyle that they want to live by and stuff, and they might not have that much to lose, or they might not have anything to lose at all when they want to live by that type of lifestyle. So they gonna make sure they get their get back on you. So I pretty much see what he's saying by that, man, because there's a lot of that going on, man. You touch somebody, hurt somebody, kill somebody, etc., no matter if that person was a part of the streets, just know revenge is coming. You just don't know when. You just gotta be pretty much prepared for it, though, or at least try to be prepared for it. But with that said, we're gonna rewind a little bit, continue on.
And that's what makes even the most common Albanian. I don't know, if I'm saying something here that's not accurate, let me know. I know we're getting a little watered down. We're melted into the pots. I'm not a violent guy. I've never hurt anybody, never even hit anybody, never killed anybody in my life. But if somebody ever touched my family, I will go after their family.
And I just want to say real quick, and it's okay to be like that. You ain't gotta be violent. You ain't gotta be always trying to knock somebody's head off, etc., and stuff. But when somebody touches one of yours, that's the type of mentality that people would have more times than not, because it's all at the end of the day about respect and having dignity and stuff. You don't want to let nobody play with that. You don't want nobody to ever try to make it seem like you just a pushover. You don't want nobody to ever feel like they could just do anything to you and your family, and it ain't nothing that you're gonna do about it. Like, people don't want to be that type of person. They wanted to let it be known, like, look, I might not be this type of way for real all the time or anything like that, but best believe if you touch one of my people, then it's gonna definitely be a problem, and I'm gonna get involved type shit. So I can definitely agree with that for sure, because that's how I am pretty much. I'm not a violent person. I don't get into it with nobody, but when it comes to my family, that's a whole different story, period. But with that said, let's continue.
Because I believe in that. Especially if someone fucking, you know what I'm saying? But this has been inbred into our people for generation after generation. In some cases, unfortunately, it's getting out of hand. People are getting caught in crossfire. There's all kinds of crazy shit going on. But you know of cities, you visited them, whole cities and towns that are actually shut. They're fucking, all their windows are closed. because they're in blood feuds, and only the women can leave, and there's rules to the feud, right? Like you can't just leave the house.
Right.
Because the minute you walk out that door, it's open game.
Yeah.
The rules of the feud were no women, no children. So the women can go out, but good luck making a living if you're a woman at that time, right?
Right.
But the men, the minute they're outside, they're fair game.
A fair game.
I did work with a friend of mine who made an independent film called Forgiveness of Blood. It's on, you can download it. It won the Berlin Bear for best script. It's based on a true story of two Albanian families that go at it. So where do I get this alleged theory in my mind that we brought this to the Sicilians? In my opinion, and you know better because you were around them more than I was, there's a starking similarity between us and them. A lot of things in common. The blood feud is one of them. That really, I think, ties us to them. But we know when we pull up the history of the Arbresh people, that's for those of you that don't know what that is, it's spelled Arbereshe. The Arbresh are the Albanians that left Albania after the Ottoman Empire conquered us. The Italians gave us land. We didn't take the land. They gave it to us as a gift. Some estimates say almost as half of our people left at that time. There are still villages in Sicily, Calabria. These are the most mafioso areas of Italy.
Right.
Where the Albanians still exist and speak Albanian from that time that we don't even understand them. One of the most famous families from there is the Belushi bloodline.
Right.
That's a fact. And I had Father Antonio Belushi stay at my home for months. Not Antonio, was it Antonio? Yeah. Father Belushi from over Calabria came and stayed at my house. Gentlemen. So here it is up on Wikipedia. Anybody that's watching can pull it up. This is the history of the Arbresh. So we went there as friends. We didn't come as conquerors because we saved them. St. George Castrioti, whose statue is in the middle of Rome.
Scandal Bale.
Piazza de Albanese is what it's called in Rome. You can see his statue in the heart of. Why is his statue there? If we didn't do something for them,
So I may be wrong, but it seems like pretty much the way he's saying all of this information is because it looks like some people probably said, oh, y'all were bad guys, y'all didn't do this for us, y'all took from us, etc., etc. So the way he's responding and saying all this information, it sounds like he's replying with the facts over somebody that possibly pretty much didn't really do their research for real and didn't know any of this information like that for real. So shit, you right here just debunking a lot of the probably whatever you want to say, the theories or narratives and stuff that the Albanians was bad people and they just took from people or whatever the case was back centuries ago and stuff like that, when it was actually the opposite. They didn't have much, pretty much, and it was only a very little amount of them that was around that time and stuff. And the Italians gifted them land, gifted them some things pretty much to help them survive and pretty much build up, like instead of decreasing but increase pretty much their families and all that stuff and be able to live regular lives like some of they people were pretty much. But obviously it was a lot of bloodshed, battles and all that going on, wars and stuff like that. So it's pretty much sounded like how it do for a lot of other countries and stuff like that. Pretty much they were a group of people that pretty much wasn't probably looked at that great as like respectable, or people didn't probably care for them enough, etc., stuff like that. Pretty much almost made them outsiders, but pretty much they did what they needed to do to earn the good graces of those people and show that they are worthy people to be around and stuff like that. They can work pretty much for everything they got. They not just sitting on their ass and letting stuff get handed to them or taken from people and stuff. They actually working to get what they want and stuff like that, and pretty much deserving it. So that's it. He's pretty much adding a respect to them and showing that it's more to the history than most people probably really know for real if they ain't doing their research. So that's why I said, man, it sounds like he's pretty much responding to somebody that didn't have all their information correct. But with that said, though, we're gonna go ahead and continue on.
They gave us the land. And when we came in friendship, we unfortunately brought some of our dark habits with us. And my true theory is, through osmosis, the Sicilians, because we came as heroes there. We didn't come there as cowards.
Right.
We came as the people that stood against the Ottoman Empire, the only ones that were able to hold them off for 50 years with guerrilla warfare. And that was like the weakest person in the world fighting, right? These guys were like the most advanced army on earth.
Well, I think that's what makes me stubborn in my beliefs, because
It's our greatest strength and weakness.
well, it is, and
Well, I probably said it a little bit wrong. So they pretty much was fighting against those that had more than them. And sometimes that's very dangerous because you're fighting people that don't got much to lose. You're fighting people that pretty much want to prove themselves, that want something. Like, they not just sitting there and constantly letting people kick them in the face, throwing dirt in their eyes and stuff like that, just taking from them, bullying them and all that stuff. But they pretty much was a resistance. So when you fighting people like that ain't got much to lose, ain't had much in the beginning, pretty much people like how we say right now in the US, the trenches and stuff like that, those are very dangerous people because they just looking for ways to support their family for real, get their family out the trenches for real, and trying to give their families and themselves a better life, etc., the whole nine. Now, I ain't saying that that's how everybody is that come from the trenches, because there's some people from the trenches that just want to be bullies. They don't really got no real morals for real. They don't really care about getting out the hood and stuff. They just live to want to harm people and stuff like that. But everybody ain't like that. A lot of people are in those situations and living that type of lifestyle because they're trying to find a way out, because maybe they can't do it legally the right way like they want to, so they got to do it the bad way pretty much. They got to do it the illegal way. They got to take them risks. They got to have on nights where they got to go commit crimes just because they don't know where they going to possibly get their next meal for their family and stuff like that. They might got kids at home, parents that's possibly not able to do for themselves no more, stuff like that. It's just all these different factors and stuff for real. So that said, the Albanians pretty much are those type of people back then where they had very little, so they needed to do whatever they can to make sure they don't keep losing and losing and losing. They had to find a way to take some wins. They had to find a way to stand up for themselves. They had to, even when the odds were against them, show that they not those type of people that you can just push over and eliminate for real. So yeah, man, that's just very dangerous right there, man. You got a lot of these people that live like that. Shit, you pretty much gonna find out for real even if you got more than them, if y'all are really able to stand up against people that's less than you for real. Because just because you got a lot more than somebody don't mean you necessarily the best, the strongest, the one that are correct. It don't matter. Once you in a battle, all that shit go. And it's just pretty much the best man, whoever the best man is, win. Pretty much at that point. So with that said, though, we're going to go ahead and continue on. The video is almost over. Probably not going to pause too much more because this video is already a little bit long. So with that said, let's continue on and finish out.
tell my kids I don't need 1,000 guys standing with me for me to believe in what I believe in and me to follow my rules, which I've done through my lifetime now.
I'm going to say real quick, and that's how it should be, man. You shouldn't have to be a strong person when you around groups of people. You should be able to have that same mindset even when you're by yourself. The odds are against you. Because if people see that you only like that when you around people, that means they going to be plotting every single day just to catch you lacking by yourself, because they know you not like that for real. They know you need an army with you. They know you need people with you to stand on your own 2 feet. So, hey, you gotta live with that mindset of if you alone, you still very powerful. You still gonna get shit done, no matter who oppose you, etc., all that stuff. That's a fact. So with that said, I definitely agree, but let's continue.
And I think that I look at guys that can't stand or need to be in groups and don't stand with me as cowards. So I have a look of different people when they take the weaker way out and go with the group. And I try to teach my kids not to be that way.
Do you think my theory is crazy?
No, I agree with you.
Kind of makes sense,
You
right?
know,
I had this epiphany with it. I'm studying the history.
Yeah. Well, you know the history, and you're hitting it spot on, honestly. And people that
We
really
were
know
doing
about
the
this-
blood feud for thousands of years. It's not a great thing to be. It's nothing to be proud of.
Oh, it's not. But
It's very violent, but it made sense. You know why it made sense? Because you thought twice before you killed somebody.
Yeah.
Because when you killed someone, you're bringing your whole fucking, not just your family, your whole entire clan.
Correct.
Because we're tribal people.
Right.
You brought the whole clan into a feud. So you had to really think, is it worth it? Because it's going to keep going back and forth, and either it's one side gets wiped out or someone forgives the blood.
Yeah.
So that is my only stark warning to anyone that listens. Regardless of where these people live, if they're true Albanians, they still live by this code. If you hit them, they will hit you back with everything they have, even if they're not criminals.
Well, I think that things have changed obviously through the centuries, and we're at 2020 now, and some of the things I'm hearing, I'm not happy about. Obviously, things that are going on within our culture in Albania. Most recently, this last year, killings of women and children, and some of this, the men, and I'm talking about real men that got involved in the wars, whether it was Kosovo and Serbia, or men that, live by a code of ethics that are important to our families. And I think that more men need to stand up against the men that are doing this against women. I really am disappointed in some of these crimes and some of the suffering of families through jealousy or things against cultures within our own culture. So hopefully that'll change, and maybe I started talking to people advocating against some of the stuff that's going on, and I'm hoping politically some of there's stronger laws against this.
Yeah, and that's pretty much the end. I definitely agree, man. Just based off of the stuff I done heard from back then, like women and kids used to be off limits. Like they had no parts of anything the men had going on and stuff. Like when the men were into it, only the men were into it. They weren't going after kids. They weren't going after women. Even if they caught a man that they looking for lacking and stuff with their family, they not gonna do nothing to that man right then and there because he with his family and shit. They gonna let him slide and then just wait for another time to catch him by himself for real, and then do what they gotta do. So nowadays, women are getting killed left and right, kids as well, and some of the men are also pretty much the reasons for this too, man, because it's going not even just with street shit, it's going with just because of the simple fact a woman rejects them. So it's like these men now, they don't see no gender. They just see either I get what I want or, hey, it's over with for your life. I might steal from you, etc. All that. Whether you a woman, kid, don't matter. Women, kids are getting hurt because of these situations. Women rejecting men, not a man so mad, now he gotta go hurt the kid. And sometimes too, the women. Or hurt both and kill both, etc., or the whole nine. So it's just a sad time right now for real, man. But yeah, man, I actually just did a video like that where y'all can go watch my most recent video. Cause this video is coming out today when y'all see this. This video is for today's upload. If y'all go watch my video from yesterday, pretty much a situation like how he was speaking on like the men doing all these things to the women and all that and kids and stuff, etc. So yeah, man, it's just definitely a sad time right now, man. But yeah, even though we know violence ain't gonna go away for sure and all that stuff, it's just because it's too much happening to the point where this is an endless cycle. I definitely agree with on that this should at least go back to the men versus men and men only. No women or kids should be involved. Even grandparents, the elderly, all that. None of them should be involved either. Like, if it's men versus men, let it be that. Period. Don't even try to go after a person's family for real. Just only go after the person that you got problems with. It's that simple. But other than that, also, I'm not telling y'all to go commit violence. I'm not telling y'all that I stand for violence, all that stuff. I already said I'm not a violent person and stuff. So I would rather y'all at least, like they said, the thing that they got, forgive the blood. Pretty much do something like that. I would rather y'all forgive each other, find a way to work y'all differences out and stuff. But like I said, it's a lot of factors into why violence is going on today, man. So it's pretty much a lost cause to see something like that potentially happen again, where it's just men versus men, and that's it. No families getting involved, no kids, women, none of that. So it's gonna be a hard situation to see that ever happen again. But other than that, though, man, that's the end of the video. If you guys enjoyed my reaction to the video, make sure y'all leave a like, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to tell your family and friends about the channel as well, and hopefully they become supporters of the channel. And also don't forget to turn on post notifications so you guys get notified when I drop new videos. Be sure you don't miss out on new videos. Check out the channel every day, no matter the time of the day. And also don't forget to add and follow me on social media. All my social media platforms are listed down below in the description box as well as in the intro of the video, so you shouldn't have a hard time at all finding me on social media. With that said, though, man, that's the end of the vid. I'm gonna catch you guys later on for more, so stay tuned. Peace.